All right. Good evening, WhoDat Nation. Welcome to the WDN Chatline podcast. This is the host CB, and I'm here with the team. I'm here with WD, and I'm here with Miss Pretty Carlin. How y'all doing tonight?
Doing good.
Great. Let's get it.
Okay. So basically, how the show gonna go tonight? Um, basically, just wanted to get on here and give our draft class evaluation. On their rookie season. So we're going to do that. We're going to get into Nick Easton getting released. What that means for Reese or McCoy. That need to get hashed out. And then we're going to open the phone lines and get you guys' thoughts on this year's draft class. Who stood out to you? Who didn't? Who got potential? Such and such. So we would like to welcome everyone that's tuned in. We will get back to this chat in a few. Just want to chat out a few names right quick. We got the OG Jerry Poor in the building. What's good with you, Jerry? We got Idris Amon said, "Hey y'all, what's good with you, Idris?" And that's pretty much it right now. That's in the comments. We'll get back to y'all, answer a few questions. But that's basically how this is going to go tonight. So let's get into it. First round. In the 2020 draft, we selected Cesar Ruiz.
Yes. So, as everybody know, we selected him 24th overall. And then, we expected him for the season opener to be a starter at right guard, but he had that halted because of his preseason injury. And because of that, Nick Easton, who we're going to talk about later on in the show, earned the starting spot on opening day. But it wasn't too much longer before Cesar Ruiz got his NFL debut. We lost against the Las Vegas Raiders, but, he played 6 snaps because Easton left with a concussion. Again, we'll talk about Nick Easton later on in the show. He didn't play as well as I thought that he would, considering what we gave up to get him. But, he did play more time against Green Bay in week 3. He had 51 snaps. Because Andrews Pete had left the game with his injury, and he got his first start against the Lions, which was pretty good for him. As we know, he had his best game in week 7 against the Carolina Panthers, which was a divisional game, so that was good for him. He had 70 offensive snaps, and he also allowed 0 pressures on 40 pass blocking opportunities. So he had moments. You can see the potential when he's at his full ability. Like, we know what he can do. We just needed him to show up and show out on certain plays. And I don't know if that was a play calling thing or if that was a his thing. But for what we gave up to get him, I wanted more. I know if Uptown was here, he would have a lot more to say about this guy because all season Uptown has been going off on Cesar. But I agree with what he was saying. For everything that we gave up for this guy, I wanted to see more. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't the best.
WD.
Well, I really don't have much to see on Caesar. The only thing I gotta see is, man, really, she summed it up pretty much. But Caesar, my whole thing with him was the bad from him was pretty much getting Breeze, putting Breeze, taking him out for a few games. But other than that, I thought he played pretty well when Nick Easton, basically we released Nick Easton because he has plenty of concussions. But I thought the games that he replaced him in, I thought he played pretty well. Besides that play where they got Breeze injured for a few games.
Right. My thoughts on Cesar Ruiz. I believe he was playing out of position. I mean, if you drafted him as a center, I mean that's basically where his highlights was in college. I see this comment right here saying Ruiz not playing in the right spot. I agree with that.
I honestly think they moved him because of his body frame being so small.
Right. That's true. But yeah, his highlights in college was at center. That's what he thrived at. I think he was the best center coming out. So if you're gonna take a first round pick at the center position, put him at the center position. I know we're gonna get into the Easton, a little bit later on, but Sean need to go on and hash that out. Who gonna be playing right guard? Is you gonna slide McCoy over there, or let the first round draft pick get at the spot that he thrived at? Um, so basically, him at right guard, it was pretty good. He had some ups and downs. I know, a few cats kept pointing out the play where he, missed that block, got Breeze hurt, but other than that, I'm not sure what the swapping out between him and Easton was about. I don't know if he had to catch up to the playbook. I know COVID was here, the season was shortened, but there's a lot of rookies that had to deal with that as well. But my honest opinion, I just think we probably haven't seen the full potential with Ruiz because he's not at the position where he was, rated, the top center at. Yeah, he was rated the top center coming out. So, hopefully Sean put him at center. Go ahead and make that call now so we can see, his fullest potential. So y'all good on him? I
Yes.
mean, I know some pits sitting there. Um, at 24, you had Patrick Queen sitting there. I know that's kind of debatable, right there. But
Totally debatable.
yeah, but Sean, he got to put him at the position that he was thriving at, so we can see his potential. Not trying to put him in another spot and grooming him there. I see Dude Kurt said Caesar must have been eating too much of his salad. Y'all get it.
You funny, Kirk. That was a good one.
But we shall see on him. First round pick. He gotta develop into a hell of a player. So did we have a second? I think we know the second was part of the Davenport deal. So we didn't have no second. We waited to the third. And we traded up and got Zack Baun. Which
Yeah.
all started on Zack Baun.
Okay. So with Zack Baun, there really wasn't much to see on film for him this season besides the 12 tackles that he had, because you gotta remember when we drafted him, we drafted him as an outside linebacker. He didn't get his first start until we played against the Las Vegas. Well, his debut was against the Las Vegas Raiders. I think that was a Monday Night Football game, and he played on special teams. Like, he's an outside linebacker, and they put him on special teams, and he had a big ass pop that game too. So we thought after that game we was gonna see more of him and get to see exactly what he was gonna do or what he was gonna bring to the table as far as what he can contribute to the team, and we just didn't get that. Like, this was one of those picks where I was like, after seeing him play, I'm like, we could have actually drafted somebody else if y'all were going to do this with him. And so I really don't have an opinion on him because there wasn't much to critique or look at or to watch.
Right.
Yeah, Bond, for me, I'm curious to see what they do with Bond going forward.
Yeah.
Outside of rushing the pass, I just don't know what he got. I just want to see if he can play off the ball, But really, the only thing I see them doing is using him as a Sam linebacker. I don't really see him, I definitely don't see him playing the Mike or weak side linebacker. So pretty much, I mean, I just see that. I think we're going to use him to just rush the pass and nothing much more than that. But yeah, I did love the hit on who that was, man. I think his name was Jared McKinney, man. That's the play that stood out,
Yeah, and haven't seen nothing since then, man. Nothing big like that.
I mean, he did have a good. He had a few good plays that he was, and when he was playing, when he played base. That was just a very few times, but he had a good few tackles. But other than that, not much. So I'm just very curious to see where they go with him.
Right. Yeah, pretty much what you were saying about. I mean, I really don't know what their vision is for him. Um, but we're in the situation now where Quan, even if we retain him, he's not going to be back at least for the first half of the season. So got a situation where Anzalone is a unrestricted free agent. Do they bring him back just to be just for depth? I don't know. Somebody else may have a better vision for him. I'm not sure what their view on Anzalone is, but yeah, he really didn't get involved, with the defense this year. Um, I know, rushing the passer was his ability. I don't see them putting him as a starting end. So the only place I can see him is being a Sam linebacker. I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure exactly why he wasn't getting no playing time. It was really like that with him and Ruiz. Ruiz was in and out of the lineup, but Baun he really wasn't incorporated in the defense like that. So kind of unsure what the vision. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's gonna get his opportunity this year.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, we play with two linebackers. You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
those
we
those
really,
those few times, that's the only time he was able to see him out there.
yeah, that's why I'm kind of confused at. Cause yeah, we don't be in the base 4-3 like that. A lot, probably about 15-20% of the game. So yeah, I'm kind of not sure what their vision is for them. If they just use them as a third down pass rusher, or what. So that's gonna be interesting. To see with him. Okay, I see Habit Football said, "What do you guys think if we draft another linebacker?"
I think
They
what we
You
do all season, see who we're gonna keep, see who we're gonna let go, and then we can decide on at least a linebacker, in my opinion, because there are other parts in our system that needs to be filled, in my opinion.
I think they need another linebacker. I mean,
No, I'm not saying that they don't, but I say
no, I'm not. I'm
I'm
not.
saying
I'm
that
not saying
wouldn't
you
be my
not.
first. That wouldn't be my first order of business.
I'm just answering the question. I think we do need another linebacker. You said, what do you guys think if we draft another linebacker? I think they should. Uh, the reason why I'm saying it because I mean, if Quan, for the most part, if he's gone, they need a guy that can fly around pretty much like Demario. That's what we was missing. Alex Anzalone, pretty much. You know, that didn't work out. Him after a series of injuries. I mean, he showed some promise that 2017 he got hurt, but 2018 he showed some promise. But it seemed like after that, man, he just showed the ability that he just don't got that speed like that. He can't cover linebackers. Uh, but other than that, man, I really do believe that yeah, we just need to pursue a linebacker because really, I mean, I feel like the Saints they saw what they needed when they got Quan, and the fact that he got hurt that really hurt them much the rest of the season.
right, and that also says a lot. When we went and traded for Quan out, like I said, I mean, I know Anzalone was playing the spot. Quan was that, but like I said, I'm just kind of confused on how they plan on using him as a starter because he's not going to be playing the wheel position. He's not going to be playing the wheel position. He's going Sam. That's the only spot that's written on his name, but written for him. But we're not going to be in that package. A lot. We don't use that package a lot. So I don't know. Maybe they have them in the Sam. When we in that package, and then maybe just put them on the edge and pass rushing situations. I'm not exactly sure. We will find out. So y'all good on him?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go to the next guy, which is Adam Trautman. Adam Trautman, we traded. We gave away really the rest of our draft until we got back in the draft in the seventh round. But we gave away some picks to trade up to go get Adam Trautman. Y'all's thoughts on Adam Trautman?
I I love Adam Trautman. Like I have to see more of him. Like I like what I've seen on film. Um, I like what he brings to the game. He was definitely more consistent, in my opinion, than damn Jared Cook. He had 15 receptions, 171 receiving yards, and he had one receiving touchdown. And he I think his biggest game came in week 9 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when we blew them out. I think he had like 3 receptions for 39 yards and he got his first touchdown because that's when we blew them out like 38-3. And he has so much potential. He is someone where when you mold him and continue to have him go out there and play, he will get better as the game go along. And I'm a huge fan of Adam Trautman. Like I need to see more of him. Like I want to see his true potential. He has what I feel like that Jimmy Graham factor when we first got Jimmy. That's just me.
Okay, WD.
He showed some promise, after having few linebackers. I see
Yeah.
it because I don't know what it is every time I'm talking about linebackers and tight ends. But anyway, the few tight ends that we had, like Kobe Fleener, Dan Arnold, they had bad hands. It seemed like they didn't hold on to the ball that much. Trautman, he's pretty much the exact opposite. He holds on to the ball, definitely athletic. I wouldn't say he's that speedy, but I mean he showed a lot of promise. And really, if you look at it, I think Adam, he for the most part, he was probably the most. I would say he was probably the most productive rookie we had. And with that being said, I think that speak a lot of volume to how this draft class really went, because if you're gonna, I guess every pick is pretty much development waiting to happen, but I just don't. I'm not that fan. I'm not a huge fan of the draft class because I mean they didn't really let these guys play that much, man. And I understand that this is a stacked team, but Trautman, man, that was a guy we was wanting to see do more because I mean, Cook, he was playing iffy all season long. So why we didn't see Adam Trautman out there,
Right.
enough.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, like this draft class, really, if you're gonna sell me something like like this draft class, I just, I'm just trying to figure out like all these guys, man, why we didn't see Cesar out there more, why we didn't see Baun out there more. I mean, pretty much we pretty much answered Baun, about Baun, but yeah, Trautman, I don't get why we didn't see him out there more.
That's right. He can block. He can run block. He can pass block. He got good hands. Like you said, he not the fastest, but you got
Like you
guys like
said, he's so promising.
right. But it's like he kind of remind me like of a possible Jeremy Shockey. Jeremy Shockey
Oh
wasn't the
wow.
fastest. But he was a hell of a run blocker, hell of a pass blocker.
That's a
You know,
great comparison.
yeah.
I take my Jimmy Graham one back. I actually like that one better.
But yeah, he can run great routes. So
Wow.
necessarily speed don't have to be the huge factor.
Yeah.
With him, he's quick. He's quick. Great route runner. He got the whole tree under him for a tight end, which we
And
need.
he has the full package if you let him blossom.
Right. But yeah, I mean, he definitely didn't get enough chances. I mean, I know how much Cook was making the stuff, but it was obvious Cook should have been losing snaps.
Why you
I
can't
know
have
one game I think Cook had about 12 snaps and Trautman had like 37. I remember I tweeted that. Right there, I thought that was gonna be the kind of end for Jared Cook. His
Yeah.
snaps were gonna get limited, but nah, they went right back to it and we saw how that played out for us. So Jared Cook, I thought he signed a 2-year deal with us. I
I hope
guess
so.
he under contract one more year. I thought it was a 2-year, 18 million. So I thought
Yeah,
he was gonna be a free agent anyway.
yeah, he is.
Oh, he a free agent?
Yeah, he is. He ain't gonna
Oh,
be
so
back.
yeah, so yeah, he definitely not gonna be back.
Hallelujah.
But yeah, basically, yeah, it's going far as the potential, yeah, he definitely will be our tight end number one going into the 2021 season. And that's good if they hang on to Josh Hill, to be a reliable backup. I remember WD saying he think they're gonna get another tight end. Um, I agree with that. Probably more of a pass catching tight end just for depth purposes. Because the way they utilize Josh Hill is not in the receiving game like that. I know here and there he may catch a screen. You got to kind of throw a wrinkle in the defense. At times. But other than that, he's not utilized in the catching game. So yeah,
Yeah.
Troutman. Yeah, Trautman will be our number one number one tight end going into this season. And really, he was the highlight of, you know, our draft. Not, I ain't gonna say the highlight of the draft, but he was the highlight of the draft before the unrestricted, draft class. So we traded up. I know we traded up to get him, but it kind of paid off. So the vision they seen for him, that definitely panned out. But as far as this draft class, I'm talking about before we get to the unrestricted. I mean, before we get to the undrafted. As far as the regular draft class, I get us a C. I get us a C. A
Well,
C.
can I say something real quick before we start the grading?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to remind everybody that we did draft Thomas Stevens in the 7th round. He didn't play for us at all when we got him. We actually switched him over from quarterback to a tight end. And then,
Mhm.
we ended up waiving him and he signed to the Carolina Panthers for their practice squad, but he didn't get put on their active roster until week 17 when we played them and they did this kind of Taysom Hill switcheroo thing with him on us. And so maybe that's why we're not talking about Thomas Stevens because he really didn't do anything for us. Again, we drafted him in the 7th round with the 240th pick. Then in training camp, we moved him from a quarterback to a tight end, cut him in September.
Right. And yeah, but while you brought that up, I can say a few things on that situation. I mean, I don't know how good. I know as a quarterback, he wasn't the greatest. I think it was Texas A&M. But where it was, they was gonna try to they saw some Taysom Hill potential as far as gadget player.
Texas A&M, what?
Um, they saw some Taysom Hill potential as far as a gadget player. I believe they should have. Held on to him just to see how that panned out because
I think he went
if
to
it would have
Mississippi
panned,
State.
Yeah, he did.
you say you think he took up space.
No,
No,
he.
I said he went to Mississippi State. I think you said he went to Texas A&M.
Oh, Mississippi
He went to
State.
Mississippi State. That's a hard. It's a hard. It's in the SEC too, but yeah, I think he went to
Right.
Mississippi State.
Yeah, but I think they should have held on to him just to see what kind of potential he could possibly have. 'Cause,
Yeah.
you have an interesting situation coming up with Taysom.
Well,
If he
Carolina. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, you good.
No, I was gonna say Carolina. It was basically trying to force him on us, man. Like when we played them that last game, that week 17 game,
Yeah.
they was definitely trying to implement him into the offense, and he was actually getting off on some plays.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Jay, don't be putting this in the comment section, man. Don't be putting this man's name in the comment section.
Put it in there, Jake. Put it in there. I'm all here for it. Let's go.
Man, better take the veteran minimum, if they do get him.
Boy.
I'll be all right with him with a veteran minimum, backing up Troutman. I'll be fine with that. But yeah, far as the grade on the draft class, two of the three that was picked, well, within the 7 rounds, hardly played like that. Ruiz, in and out of the lineup, and then Baun, special teams and stuff like that. I thought Baun was gonna get incorporated immediately, you know,
I
at the
think a
Sam.
lot of people did, honestly.
Right. So yeah, I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give a class a C. I'm gonna give it a C. I'm kind of disappointed in that, especially with Ruiz. Um, I think if I'm not disappointed in necessarily him because I just think he was out of position.
I'm gonna keep it
But
high
I
with you.
what's y'all's grades
I'm
on
gonna
that
give it.
play?
I'm gonna give him a C. I'm gonna give him a C. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I would not have no problem giving him a D. I'm
See,
serious.
that's where I'm at. I'm actually giving them a D.
And to keep it out, my only standouts really was was Adam Troutman.
Adam
Like
Trautman.
that's the only player like we could see, potential.
And I think the only reason why he was the only person true potential that we can really see was because Jared Cook fucked up so much that when they got another tight end that was actually catching something, we was like, oh, thank God. It was like a relief when he came in. So we paid attention to him.
Yeah, that's true. Every time I think of Cook, he just pisses me off.
Well,
Hey man.
let's not think about it.
Hey, look, y'all know how I feel about the draft class. Look, I hope all these dudes, excel in the future. But this was arguably one of the greatest drafts for the receivers, and we didn't draft not one. That still
I
bothers me.
question: do you guys feel like Tommy Stevens was a waste of a draft? Like we could have done better at that with that last pick?
Uh, I mean, he was a 7 rounder, right?
Right, but if we knew what he was gonna, if we knew what they were gonna do with him before they drafted him, wouldn't you say that just don't do it?
Yeah, because the thing about it is, I think they was being petty with Tommy Stevens. They didn't want Carolina to get him, and they ended up with him anyway.
And ended up getting him anyways.
That just don't make no sense, man.
Yeah, I mean, you trying to be petty. We like you. I mean, just go with your grade, with who you had on the board.
Yep.
But
And I mean, 7 rounder, that's pretty much a toss up anyway. But still,
It is, but you find great players in the 7th round, like Jimmy Graham, like when we got Marcus Colston out of Hofstra. You can find great guys in the 7th round, which is why I'm saying I feel like that was just a waste. Because if you literally sat there, did your homework, and like CB said, went with somebody that was actually on the board instead of trying to be petty, you could have actually potentially got a good draft pick that we could have utilized and used on our team.
yeah, I think Graham was a 3rd rounder. But yeah, I see your point. Like, I can definitely see. I definitely agree with that.
right. So I know we was talking. We're getting into we about to get into the undrafted free agent because honestly, I'm more excited about them, than
Right.
the regular. That's crazy. But and that also showed, what they, the skill set that the coaching that the front office, done had in the past. They can get these undrafted. But we're getting into that. I just want to say this right quick. Who do y'all think was the driving force of this? With the draft, far as like giving, Mickey ideas and stuff. Because I know we usually be talking about Jeff Allen, this and that, but it sounded like Terry, I'm gonna just say Fontenette. It sounded like he had a big hand, in scouting, college scouts and stuff as well. So, do we still have the guy that's been our driving force in the draft class, or is he in Atlanta?
When it comes to this draft, I will say that the Saints was one of the few teams who actually didn't go on as many. They didn't take too many pro days. You know what I'm saying? Like we
Right.
were one of the only few teams that had people in our ear telling us how good other players were instead of us sending people out there to go see those guys for ourselves. And I think that was our biggest mistake. Like, we literally slept on this draft and it showed.
Yeah, I can't really answer that question, CB, but I'm just going to say whoever was responsible for the 2017 draft, I hope that's who we still got.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, I hope that was definitely more so of Ireland.
That's true. So but let's get into the undrafted, part. You know, we can go ahead and start on Marquez Callaway. What's y'all's thoughts on him?
A stud. Now, this is where, in WD's words, promising. This kid is very much promising. He has been amazing to watch. You know, we had him debut against what, the Las Vegas Raiders in week 2, and he did it on special teams and offense, and he did really good. And then when we seen him again in week 4 against the Detroit Lions, he had his first reception for 16 yards. And then don't forget when he wasn't he the one to catch Drew Brees' 7,000 completion against the Carolina Panthers?
I don't recall, but that's a good catch. That's a good catch.
He caught Drew Brees' 7,000 completion. He finished that game with 8 receptions for 75 yards, and that was both team highs for him. And he was somebody that I want to see more of. I don't care if it's at wide receiver or if it's at special teams. When this guy is in, he's so fast. He's so explosive. He barely drops anything, if ever. He is somebody that I want to stay on this team. I want him to really learn under Mike Thomas, because we know Mike pretty much catches everything, and he's gonna be fun to watch. I can't wait to watch him grow and see how far he can go when he reaches his true peak. And I hope that it's with us. He's a keeper. He is my favorite out of all the guys we drafted and undrafted. This was the guy that, out of everybody in our 2020 class, was the standout guy, must see TV guy for me.
Yeah,
Right.
you pretty much hit it on the nail with Callaway. The thing with him is, much like Deontay Harris, who was also undrafted, great find, but they just got to stay healthy. It seemed like
Yeah.
every like maybe every 4 play, man, he get hurt. So just really want Marcus to stay healthy. If he stay healthy, man, pretty good receiver.
Right. And I can definitely see his snap count, going up this year. I'm not
Oh
sure.
yeah.
I'm not sure about the situation with Emmanuel Sanders. Not because he not like that. Emmanuel Sanders a dog, and once he get, hopefully it's Jameis. If you get a quarterback that got an arm on him, he thrive at them deep balls. But if it come down to it, Marquez Callaway could be the other outside receiver if they end up releasing Emmanuel Sanders just due to cap reasons. I'm not sure how
Yep.
much he is against the cap, but that's the name that's starting to swirl around as a possibility. And Emmanuel Sanders, what, 33, 34? He still got juice, but you don't know, when that decline will start happening. But he definitely back to Callaway. He definitely done earn himself some snaps for next year. I think both undrafted. I know Deontay was drafted undrafted, in 2019, but we got 2 undrafted guys that's really gonna be a part of our offense. At the receiver position. That shows a lot. With the front office, they still got that gem at finding these undrafted guys. But you definitely had to get back right on, you know, getting these guys in the regular draft, these first round picks.
Yeah. Uh, just to throw this out there, but if there's some chance that Sanders, if he's gone, they better look for another receiver as well.
You think so?
Yeah,
You don't.
absolutely.
Well,
I'm saying to replace Emmanuel Sanders, absolutely, yes.
I actually do. You think if they do that, they're not going to upgrade Deontay Harris' role?
Oh, they can
Even
upgrade them, but they still need another receiver.
you talking about a first rounder or
No, it don't have to be a first round. They better get somebody else that is a good enough, a good route runner, just like Emmanuel Sanders. A good number 2 receiver. That's what I'm saying. Now that's not a knock on Marcus Callaway because Marcus Callaway is good, but I'm still saying that they need a receiver that can be a good number 2. That's what we've been lacking before we had Emmanuel Sanders.
right? That's true. So y'all good on Callaway?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so really the other undrafted free agents that touched the field, you got Jawan Johnson. Um,
Yeah, he had 3 receptions for like 35 yards. He was one of those players that the Saints really was just messing with this man's contract. Let's be honest, because and what I mean by that is we waived him during the final cuts, and then we signed him to the practice squad the next day. Then he was elevated to the active roster, and on October 24th, October 31st, December 5th, December 12th. But he was after each of those games, which were week 7, 8, 13, and 14. He reverted back to the practice squad, so they would sign him to the main roster, then take him to the practice squad, main roster, practice squad. It was just like, pick what you're gonna do with this man. When he did touch the ball, we were just like, who is this? I remember Twitter was in shambles because we didn't know who this man was. And then he missed. He let the ball go through his hand. He didn't catch it. So now we mad because you're a receiver and you're not catching. And he got more exposure from the WhoDat Nation because of his personal life, what he was doing outside of football, because of him and his wife and how submissive she was to him. But on the field, he didn't really give us much to talk about. But he did touch the field, so we're talking about him.
right.
Yeah, that seems like another Satavius Jones. I don't know if y'all remember. Well, when it's all said and done, just look like another undrafted that did not work out. And I'm not saying that he probably won't get a chance in the future, but he wasn't all that. That's all.
Not at all. He wasn't. He definitely wasn't nothing to rave about, and he definitely wasn't nothing that if we did not mention him on this show, nobody would be like, "Oh my God, why y'all didn't talk about Jawan?" You know?
Yeah, and in fact, there was times where you was like, "Why are they throwing the ball to this guy?" But yeah.
Right. And honestly, if it wasn't for Emmanuel Sanders going down, he was out and Mike that Chicago game. If it really wasn't for that game, for they I don't think they really he really wasn't sniffed the field this season.
Yeah.
When Thomas was out, then Sanders had the COVID. That's really when he got out there and was getting some snaps. But we see what happened with him. I did forget about one guy, Keith Washington. Keith Washington, y'all had some thoughts on him?
What would the thoughts be?
Right.
No, I would say this. He didn't see the field, but this was a guy that was a highlight in training camp.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. The training camp statement, man. That's why. That's why I can't see nothing. You know how it is, bro.
But you know what?
Yeah.
There was also, you remember the Tony Jones Jr. guy, because remember when they mistaked him for somebody else when they had I think they had like his picture up there, but they had like Demario Davis's name at the bottom of it. Like they didn't know who he was. But yeah, we had Tony Jones Jr. He was the running back. Remember, he sniffed the field because he had 13 yards.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Dude Curry said Keith Washington sound like an R&B singer.
Wait, what
Oh
else?
man. Yeah.
Oh, he said keep watching sound like an R&B shit. I just remember they was talking about having a good. I'm just saying, but unrestricted. I mean, undrafted. You know, player having a hell of a camp like they say was. I just thought they would have gave him an opportunity, but I don't know how that went. I know
Well,
they signed him to a future deal
They signed him to a what?
or future deal. It's kind of like an invitation to training camp.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Wasn't what position did he play? Did he play like cornerback?
yeah.
yeah, cornerback.
Oh,
And
okay.
he's likely might get his chance this year. Definitely gonna get his
Yeah,
chance
yeah,
because
he
I mean we got Janoris. You know Janoris he might be on his way out.
right.
So
And that's gonna be a huge. We get into that, down the road. But yeah, that position, definitely gotta, get some depth at that position. Again. But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for the draft class. I'm gonna put this link in the bio section. I'm in the comment section. Whoever wanna call in, give us your thoughts on this draft class. Do you think this draft class was a success? Do you see some potential in this draft class? Y'all call in and give us your thoughts. While we wait on someone to call in, we can, give your thoughts on Easton getting released. What's your thoughts?
It,
Y'all seen this coming?
I have, and I'm not. I'm a little. Okay, everybody knows that I've always been a fan of Nick Easton. Even when he was in Minnesota, I would always say that's my dude from Harvard. So I've always been a fan of Nick Easton. But I feel like with all the concussions and the injuries, it is time for him to sit it down. It's better now than later because you don't want it to come back and be one of those things where he got CTE or what where it can get worse. I think that I know he's young, but I think that with the concussions that he's been having, maybe he could think about early retirement. But I am sad to see him go because when he was playing for us, he was playing great football. There were times where the referee would throw the flag and he would say everybody but the center, and the center would be Nick Easton. So he was one of the people that on the line that definitely played disciplined football. He did his assignments, and I think that with him being gone now, again, guys can like our draft pick that we had. He can step up, Cesar, and he can go to center, and he can show us the potential that he has now that the spot is open.
Right.
This is a next man's up league.
You're right. Well, we got a call on the line. So I guess me and WD can give our thoughts in a little while. We got a caller. We got Cedric Braxton on the line. Cedric, what's
Oh,
What's up,
good with
TC?
you?
what's up?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to get up here and say, I think this year's draft class was. I mean, I can't really look at it as bad because it's like Sean Payton get these guys. They play a certain position in college. He get them and try to switch them over to
Mm-hmm.
another position when they get to the NFL. And I mean, you can't just tell a guy, "Hey, we want you to play this position," and he be good at that position for the whole year when he's not used to playing that
Yeah.
position. That's why Cesar Ruiz kind of look bad out there this year because he's not used to playing right guard. He's a center, and I mean,
Yeah.
I think next year he's going to be our full time center, and we're going to probably move McCoy over to where Cesar Ruiz was. But I mean, everybody else, Adam Trautman, I think he's going to be good. I like him when I see him. Zack Baun, we rarely saw him. And Tommy Stevens, that was just the dumbest. That's just stupid. Why would you trade two picks just to cut the dude? Don't even get see the field. That was just stupid. But
Exactly.
I think the draft class is pretty good. I mean, there's three of them that I can see that has position potential, and that's Ruiz. I
Let me ask
think
you something. So do you
Yes.
think it's not the draftees that we got? You think it's more of how we utilize them?
Yeah, I think it's how Sean Payton tries to move these guys to positions that they're not played in. It's like
Yeah.
everybody that we get, we want to move them. It's like a
That's
King Hicks.
yeah.
Akeem Hicks was not he was not an inside interior guy. He was like one of the guys that well not outside interior. He was
Yeah.
one on the inside, and they had him playing the wrong position. And when he got to Chicago, look at him. He became a Pro Bowler.
He
You
flourished.
know, he flourished. Sean Payton had these dudes playing in the wrong position, and that's why they look bad. I mean, he just got to do better, and he got to be better because he can't do this with these
Yeah, and but what I
people.
noticed, if I don't, since we're on this topic, have you noticed that when Sean Payton drafts, he has this, he has this routine where he's very predictable. Where when he drafts somebody, he don't draft them because of the position they play. He drafts them
Yeah,
because when he looks in their background, he sees that they've played several other positions before, and then he used that and try to make them play a position that they played in the past and not what they're playing at the moment that they're being drafted.
exactly. And as you can see, it hasn't worked out what he's trying to do. It hasn't worked out, and he just needs to stop it. He needs to, if he wants somebody from that position, like Big Q said, draft the guy that you want to play that position. If you want a right guard, draft a right guard. If you want a
Right.
center, draft the center. Don't be sitting up here drafting somebody, then put him up there, and then look at him. And he got Drew Brees injured because on that play, I remember him. It was his fault that the dude came in there. He just bull rushed Cesar Ruiz out the way, and he just sacked him, and Drew Brees got injured. That's what happens when you sit up here have a rookie playing the wrong position just because one of your starters went out. I
Yeah.
mean, and another thing I want to get up here and talk about is the playoff loss. I don't know what's wrong with this team when we get up here in the playoffs. We can be the best regular season team there is. But it's like when it comes to the playoffs, everybody just disappear. And then they want to sit up there and pout about other team like Michael Thomas. This is the second time he's got up there on Twitter talking about a team that's in the playoffs. But when they come to the playoffs, Michael Thomas, where you what? Where you at? You catch all these passes during the regular season, but where you at in the playoffs?
Michael
It's like,
Thomas, Chauncey Gardner Johnson. This man's been arguing with everybody all year on Twitter. Come,
yeah, it's like
a lot of
if y'all want to be a good team, win in the playoffs. Good teams win in the playoffs. They don't lose to Kirk Cousins. I've never seen Tom Brady lose to Kirk Cousins, Case Keenum, and all these other guys in the same years. And that's why people don't look at Drew Brees as a goat because Drew Brees is losing to sorry ass nobody quarterbacks. And it's just it's I'm tired of. I'm actually tired of losing. It's four
I
years
think
in a
we
row.
all are.
4 years in a row, well, not 4 years in a row, but 4 years we made the playoffs, and we got beat by the Seahawks, got beat by the Vikings, the team that we were better than. Everybody thought we were going to beat them last year, and look what happened. They just came up in there and threw us out of the way. And it's like the change has got to come. We got to do better. If we want to win the Super Bowl, this team has to be. And like you said, I think you was up here saying about the discipline. This team is not disciplined at all. No one is held accountable for anything they do, especially Sean Payton. He can
But
sit up there and have a horrible game, and no one in that front office is going to tell him because it's like they're scared of
right.
him. But that's all I want to come up here and say. I don't want to hold the chat if someone else is
I
online.
want to say one more thing to you before you go. I also feel like when Drew Brees, if he does decide to retire, I feel like we would get a better coach in Sean Payton because this bromance him and Drew has it's gotten predictable and it's tired. So when he gets to have to coach other players, especially quarterback, we will see more of the versatility and exactly what it is he can do. Him and Drew just got too comfortable with each other.
Yeah, and I think that's true too because I think I remember and didn't Drew Brees made the playoffs as a Charger, and I think I remember watching that game. He didn't look that too good in that game either when he made the playoffs as a Charger. It's like each and every year is Drew Brees' fault, and no one wants to blame Drew Brees. They just want to have him on this high pedestal. If you talk about Drew Brees, you're not a Saints fan. You're a fake fan. You don't know what you're talking about. I mean, if you look at it, it's Drew Brees' fault we've been out the playoffs for the past 2 years. Look at the turnovers and everything else. It's usually fault. And no one never wants to blame him. I think, like you said, if Sean Payton gets a new quarterback, and it's not Payton, it's not. If he gets a new quarterback that can, throw the ball deep accurately, I think this team can go further than what people think it is. But yeah, that's responding to your comment. Thank you, CB, for having me up here on your podcast.
Oh, no problem, fam. Appreciate you for calling in.
Yeah,
Shout
you
out
welcome.
to you.
You have a good night.
Okay. Next, we got the OG Jerry Poole in the building. Jerry, was good with you, fam?
What's going on, CBWD and Miss Carly? How y'all doing tonight?
Hey, doing good.
Doing great. What's up, Jerry?
Yeah, feeling good, feeling great, feeling great, feeling good. How are you?
Stress free.
Amen. And shout out to my buddy Miss Anna, my good friend. Shout out to you. And shout out to everybody that's in the chat, those that are here on YouTube and Facebook and other platforms. Who that to everybody. Hope y'all's off season and days are going well as much as mine.
Right, it is, fam.
Yeah. But CB, I want to give my thoughts on what I saw earlier today. That was a real good move that the Saints did, letting Easton go. That saves up some more money in the cap because now we're just moving on to bigger and better things with some more restructured deals and more release moves. And you know, if things can continue to go the way it is, the Saints should be back where they need to be. So that way, when the upcoming draft comes, I think we'll be just fine. But we still got some saving to do. A lot of saving to do.
Right, that's
Yep.
true.
But but I also want to give my thoughts on the draft class of 2020. Lord help me. but when because I thought to myself, and this happened like in the last 4 years up to now. My thought process was coming into the draft. I thought we was going to draft a quarterback, so that way, if Breeze decided to retire, which he still will, and good move on his behalf, try to save some more money if he decided to retire, which he will. My thought was, I thought we was going to get sign a quarterback, so if Breeze decide to retire, that way he could carry that load after Breeze retired and focus on his new job and with his family. That's my thought. That's why same thing I said about Patrick Mahomes. I thought we were going to get him to do that. But what happened? We ended up getting a defensive end. Same goal for Lamar Jackson. We got us another offensive lineman. And we were going to get some of these other quarterbacks in 2018 or 2019 and last year. We ended up with another offensive lineman and another linebacker and this person and that. I'm like, why we can't? I just don't understand. Why can we not draft a quarterback? They must don't like the quarterbacks right now or something. That's just my concern.
Right.
Yep.
I feel you on that. Yeah, like you said, yeah, man, this draft class really, we really didn't get to see, a lot of snaps from him. Besides Trautman, and then at that Trautman, the potential we did see, it really, he didn't get enough snaps to, fulfill that potential. Um,
Exactly. But
but yeah,
that pick we got from that pick we got from last year, Cesar Ruiz, CBWD. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I saw that the Saints picked this guy, you should have heard me over here in Gulfport. You should have heard me screaming my ass so loud that everybody could hear me because that was a strange pick. I was yelling. I was yelling for like 10 seconds. I was like, ah! I said, because that's the frustration of a Saints fan after that pick was made. I would,
Right.
man, I was, dude, I was all out, CB. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was all out, man. Really.
I understand. I mean, it's one thing, to draft him. Did we like? Well, don't we already got a center, and then now you trying to put him at right guard. That's why I really don't have a full evaluation. Now, if they try to, if he's, our right guard going into this season, then I just have to, you know, look at him as a right guard. But I think that's kind of messed up, with them trying to, take him and develop. Now he have had some guard experience. I think he played guard a few times. I think it was due to injury, but if
Hmm.
he's coming out of the 2020 draft class as the number one graded center, I believe it was one or two. You got to put him at that position because that's what he proceeded at. But
Exactly.
this,
But
going into this draft, you definitely can't, you can't try to take somebody and do that. I don't think this will be the draft class that they do stuff like that. What first round picks.
right. And WD, I'm sure you felt the same way I did when that happened.
Yeah, I had to step out a little bit, man. So where we at?
Not
Oh,
even talking about
no,
Ruiz.
yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah. I was telling CB, I said, when that pick was made, dude, I had to scream so loud, bruh. I could. I mean, I'm talking about a yell. Y'all know how we scream so much. If some we don't if we see a pick we don't like or something that we don't like, we can't help but scream. I want to rage and
Yeah. And my problem with that was it's like, we had just got a lineman the year before that, Eric McCoy. This was basically the same mirror
rant.
image, you can see. But I was just upset because we could have either got a receiver. And then it was the big talk about that, oh, our guards was playing really, really terrible in that Vikings game. So that was my whole thing. And then, of course, you're going to pass on Patrick Queen, the home guy. So,
Exactly.
so yeah, that was my issue with picking Caesar. But I mean, now we're gonna be looking at the fact that Nick Easton is gone. You know,
Yeah,
the
that's still a
argument
good.
the argument is that he was out of position. So we'll
Mhm.
just see how he looked at
I
center.
thought I thought to myself when Nick Easton was a big pickup, that's going to help that offensive lineman. But you know, CB and WD, there's an old saying my grandfather used to say: "He hell when he well, but he's sick all the time." Translation: I mean, the boy's a good player, but he stay hurt so much. And and anytime if he needed is one if like if Armstead get hurt or Pete get hurt, oh Lord Jesus, or Ramcheck get hurt, he fills in that gap. But some games he just stay hurt all the time, and that's another good reason why the Saints let him go and save more money in the cap.
Yeah, and look, this I'm just keeping it real here. I might sound crazy though, if I say this. Don't be shocked if the Saints were to draft another offensive lineman. That sounds crazy, right? It does sound
Let me
crazy because
let
look,
me say let me
you
let
look,
me
look, look, look. Hold on,
say
hold
this.
on, hold on. Just let me just
Go ahead.
let me just say this right quick. Last year we let Warford go. Remember that
Yeah,
we let Warford go, and then look who we drafted. Look who we just let go. I'm just saying, man.
that part right there.
And look, this is what Saints could be thinking about. Maybe they restructure Pete contract, or some sort, and then they
Mhm.
looking for a guy that can back him up. Get
Yep.
versatile. So we'll see.
No, that could very well happen because I mean, like I said, really ain't nobody said nothing out the front office, but if cats ain't like a Tehran, he's playing at a Pro Bowl player, but why he still got value? Um, Another team could use him. Could they possibly put him in a trade and try to draft a lineman? Just to help the cap out. That's the part of these moves ain't gonna be made because the player is trash. They just I don't just my opinion. I don't think just the restructuring alone is going to get them under the cap. I think somebody gonna have to bounce in a trade or maybe a release like you see. Easton got released that saved I think a little over 6 mil. In the cap room. In cap space. So WD that ain't far fetched at all. Definitely ain't.
And
Then
look,
you got
you know that statement he gonna make, man. We couldn't believe he was there.
right. But
Yeah.
if they gonna say that about Ruiz, just put him at center. That's like I said. That was my only thing with him. But, Jerry, you
Yeah.
got anything else, fam?
Just one other thing that I just want to bring up, and this will be it for tonight. To everybody that wanted Michael Thomas or Alvin Kamara to be traded, just stay off the weed, please. Stay off the liquor, please, because all this talk about trading Michael Thomas, all this stuff about trading Alvin Kamara for this person or that person, stop it. Be real with yourself, please. That's
Right.
all I want to say. That's
Yeah,
that's all.
I don't know what's up with all these fans. You know what I'm saying? They just putting up packages. They just putting everybody on the market, man.
Exactly. Can I say this, WD and
Go
CB?
ahead.
The reason why these Saints fans are thinking that way because they're not using these two words that I'm gonna give you and to everyone that's on here. And those two words coming from me saying is common sense. Let me say that one more time if y'all didn't get it. Common sense. Use your right mind and stop thinking of something stupid and start thinking of something knowledgeable going forward. That's all I got. But I just say with all the Thomas trade talk, all the Camara trade talk, stop it, please. Stay off. I mean, put the weed down, put the cigarette down, put the liquor down, whatever you're doing, just put it down and just be reasonable. That's all I got. You're right, and you got plenty of delusional fans out there, and you probably and they be about as half drunk. They don't even know what to say. Yeah,
Well,
that
all
part
right,
right
OG man. Well, all right, OG man. We definitely appreciate you for coming on.
there.
You
Anytime,
always
CB
welcome to come
and
on
WD.
here.
And once again, shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Once again, who that to y'all? I love each and every one of y'all. I say this all the time. Y'all my MVPs every day. I thank God for every single one of y'all, and hopefully, we're going forward, we're gonna be all right. That's why I come on here saying I love each and every one of y'all, and there's absolutely nothing that y'all can do about it.
Yeah, man, we love you too, Jerry, man. We appreciate you calling in, man. You sparked, you definitely sparked the pie last week, man. That was hilarious, man. You was
Yeah,
not
yeah,
playing, man, about our Saints, but hey, man,
yes,
they gotta start doing better, though, man. So we don't
that's
have to,
right,
keep getting upset about them.
exactly. WD and CB. I just bring everything from me to the table. And this is why we're here. We're here to talk Saints football. Even during the off season and before the new season come up, we always talk Saints talk to make this team a better team. That's all because we don't even care about them succaneers out there. Let them have their moment. We don't care about them right now. We'll get revenge on them going forward. We ain't got to worry about them. So let them have their moment. Let them have their celebration, get drunk. I don't give a damn what they do. But when 2021 NFL season pop up, it ain't gonna be no repeat. And that's all. And that's the message to all these Succaneer fans out there. Case closed.
Right. Well, Jared, we appreciate you for coming on, fam.
Yes, sir, CB. Shouts out to UCB and WD and Miss Carly and Flama, wherever you are, SaintsUptown, wherever you are, Payton, wherever you are. Shout out to the entire team, man. I love y'all, man. God bless you all. I thank y'all. I thank God for y'all, man.
All right, same to you, fam. Who that?
For life. Good night.
Hey man, right quick, I just want to say, man, I know Mardi Gras was supposed to be coming up, but you know, with everything going on, man, you know, the pandemic and stuff, man, I just want to say I hope some people out there are having a great Valentine's Day, man, in 2 days. So that's all I got. Just wanted to make that out there.
All right. I'll read a few comments and then we can go ahead and get out of here. Okay. Let's see. Christopher Favor said, I agree. We should have drafted a QB just so we could have a franchise QB waiting in the wing after Breeze. Now we don't. I don't think Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill is the answer. You're right about that. I mean, we had opportunity. I mean, I know, people bring up Patrick Mahomes, where the Chiefs traded up above us to get him. I believe if he would have failed to us, we would have picked him. But we did have a chance to get Mahomes, but we gave up the whole house, to get a DN that's how many sacks did he have? 1.5.
Who you talking about? Davenport?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Super Saiyan had 1.5 sacks. For all the Super Saiyan fans, y'all know he don't roll like that. So don't dress up, trying to look like nobody. You ain't putting in no work. But that was the result of that. We could have had Lamar Jackson. He could have been set behind Breeze, a few years, and that could have been it. Breeze could have probably been gone a year or two earlier, or at this point, I don't know, but we had a shot to get a quarterback. I'm talking about where we didn't have to. Honestly, we really didn't even have to trade up. The way it played out, because Lamar he was the last pick of the first round. So. Okay, shout out to WhoDat for life said that y'all see our schedule for next year. I don't like the odds, then not knowing who our QB is. Honestly, I looked at the schedule, but I really forgot. I just know a few new teams, like we playing the Cowboys, the Titans. So I think we playing the I'm not sure we playing the AFC South. I know the NFC. I believe we playing the NFC East. And I think we playing the AFC East.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really hadn't paid attention to it. I know for sure we're playing the AFC East. And I think the NFC East. So we just need to, like you said, you said you don't like the odds not knowing who our QB is. Yeah, we need to find out who the heck is gonna be our quarterback. And the way it's looking with Breeze, he's not rushing anytime soon to make his announcement. He on social media and stuff, but we won't know, the future at that spot until he said what he gonna do. Okay, I got ask one more, and then we can get up out of here. Those already said Davenport not that good.
Well, I mean, he's a big guy, but he's not. He doesn't have any moves. He doesn't have any moves. He just uses force to get to the quarterback. Got to have better technique. Now, I don't know that development, man. It don't seem like it's working, man. He showed flashes the first 2 years, had health issues. I don't know what's up for this past season. I don't think we can blame it on injuries this time around.
Nah. Right. This is an interesting comment right here. We could have drafted Jordan Love last year. He was right there sitting there.
I
You
wasn't a
know,
fan of Jordan Love, but I mean, uh,
yeah, I know he had. Didn't he have a turnover problem? I just know they were saying the positive. They were seeing some Patrick Mahomes in his arm talent, but I know he was turning the ball over. A good bit too.
yeah.
But
Well, I guess we'll see about him if Rogers decide to, get up out Green Bay.
yeah, but yeah, if Jordan Love turned into a monster, then that's another you know pit we can look at. But it's looking like Jameis, but we really don't know how that's gonna fare out. Once again, because he a free agent. Okay, well that about wrap things. One question just popped up. This can be the last one. Shout out to John Thompson. He said, "CB, will Melvin Roach get a chance to make an impact next season, or does it depend on what happens with rankings?" I think Sheldon Rankins, like I said, I know he don't have that much on tape, as far as like his production due to injury, but I think a team gonna kind of overpay to get him, because he's shown a lot of potential, when he's healthy. But yeah, I definitely think Malcolm Roach and Shy Tuttle will definitely get their opportunities. Yeah, they're definitely, and one of them might be Melvin Roach. He might be starting, or Malcolm Roach might be starting, or Shy Tuttle. That may be, one of our starting D tackles.
And that's why I said that we probably need another defensive tackle. They good guys, bro. Just you don't want them to start. Good rotational piece. You just don't want them to start for a good number of snaps.
Right. All right. So any final thoughts, WD, before we wrap this thing up?
Oh man, I just want to say shout out to the chat, shout out to the callers, man. Pretty short show, but I mean, for the most part, man, the draft, man, the draft. Hopefully, the Saints start drafting better, man. That's what it comes down to, man. We gonna need a draft almost as good as 2017 to, have another shot at getting to the Super Bowl. So there's that, man, and that's all I got, CB.
All right. And just like he said, shout out to the ones that tuned in. And we definitely appreciate y'all. I know we didn't give a heads up. We'll start doing that a little bit later, but basically, we, when we want to get on and just discuss a certain topic, that's what we, get on here and do. So y'all just be on the lookout for, when we about to go live. Once again, shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to you, dude Kirk, for tuning in. One of real Saints fan, Christopher Favor. The list goes on for everyone in the chat. I will say this though, be on the lookout next week. We having Sean and Nick from Off the Dome podcast. They will be guests on our show next week, and we basically just be, asking them some free agency questions, about the team and their thoughts on, how we, ended the season, just chopping it up with them. And shout out to all the Saints platforms. You guys are doing a hell of a job. We support y'all, just shout out to everybody that's putting in work, giving the Saints fans what they want to hear. So yeah, that about wrap things up. As far as the date and time next week, try to let you guys know. But yes, shout out to Sean and Nick. That show on the Off of the Dome podcast. We'll have them as guests sometime next week. So that about wrap things up. This is the WDN Chatline podcast, and we are out. WhoDat?
For life.